Hello everyone, and welcome to my late night stream of Monster Hunter World. We're going to be working on the awakened weapons that you get from the Safi'jiiva siege. Particularly, we're going to look at the greatsword and the hammer first tonight. Maybe if we have time, we'll also look at the hunting horn. It is Saturday, so I didn't do a lunchtime stream. We're just doing a late night stream. I don't know, just kind of work all crazy I just kind of find a point in the day to work. I don't have a schedule on the weekends. You guys know that. Let's go ahead and jump in here in the chest. I want to see if we already have the great sword and the hammer that we're looking for. Category, great sword. It's fire great sword. Let's see, would it be back here? No. Ruinous Atrocity, Safi'jiiva's Venom Splitter. That's ice. Water, dragon. I have all of them except for the blast. The blast is the one I was looking for. Okay, so we're going to have to grind for the great sword. How about the hammer? We'll check the hammer real fast. We have thunder, poison, ice, dragon, and that's it. So we don't have either the great sword or the hammer set up. Let's go ahead and grab, Let's grab a greatsword build real fast. Oh man, I darkened my TV. I think I'm going to brighten it back up. Should have tested this a little bit. TV brightness. I think that's good. That looks a little better. How's it going, everyone? Tucker says, what's up? Lewis says, the only reason I'm doing this siege now is for the Dracolite. Apparently Zoomers are born after 1996, and I always thought I was a millennial. Watch out, boomers, here I come. What? Dodogama says, how do you unlock Awakening and Sealing at the Elder Melder? By playing Safi'jiiva. I don't know. What are you doing today? We're going to be working on greatsword and hammer builds using Safi'jiiva weapons. Fayez says, hello, by the way, I fixed my internet. Now it's up to 16 megabytes per second. Woo! How are you? I'm fine. Sweet says, the Steam works. I were you unlock Awakening and Sealed. What? The Sleep Greatsword is actually better, says Fan. Oh, okay. I don't think we have that one either. Well, Kiva says, hey, Gameconomist, I ran with the team yesterday that got all the breaks in 3 runs and finished him in 6 minutes and 41 seconds on the final run. I wonder if that's better it would be nice if we could break all the parts in 2 runs. So I guess what we'll do is, because when you think about it, he's got his forelegs, his back legs, his head, his chest, his tail, and his wings. So it'd be cool if we could break all of those body parts before the end of 2 runs. Is there a thing called pure Dracolite? I've heard of it. I've never received it. You are the one that left the blast hammer. What? Let's go ahead and get started with picking out a build. So, if I'm going to use a greatsword, I would probably use... Well, there's Acidic Shredder. We're going to grab Ruinous Atrocity. I'm a big fan of it. And then we're going to run... What are we going to run on our Ruinous Atrocity? Part Breaker. We don't need Handicraft. Agitator. It's wide range. I like wide range. Here, I tell you what. Let's go over here to Friendship. I'm going to grab this right here. What have we got going on for this build? This looks pretty good. I'm going to trade Ruinous Obliteration out. Well, actually, I tell you what, let's just play... Oh, no. We want Part Breaker, don't we? We do want Part Breaker. Okay, oh, gosh. My cat just jumped in my lap. Nope, you're going over here. Just check the document for all the best weapons from Safi'jiiva. Says Fan's Perspective. HA says, I think Master's Touch would greatly benefit dual blades since they eat through sharpness so quickly. How do you get the Awakened Jewel? What? You mean the Dracolite? Why are they all named Y? Because I don't like to name my build slots because it just takes too long. It just takes too long. I just kind of scroll through them. I'm trying to decide on a build now. I mean, I think I could run Great Demon Rod. Running Agitator 5, huh? What we want to drop the Agitator. We want to bring Part Breaker. Where's it? Oh, it's on page. Here it is. So let's see. Part Breaker 1, Part Breaker 2, Part Breaker 3. We're going to drop 1, 2, and 3 of these. And then we can replace that with anything we want. Let's see. Oh, do we have a Fortitude as well? I'm going to drop that too. I don't think I'm going to die. I mean, maybe I will. Expert's down here. Weird. So there's Expert. Here's Hard Fire Resist. We'll grab Hard Fire Resist. Why not? That sounds fun. And then we'll finish off with Sheath, Fortitude, Hungerless, Iron Wall, Maintenance, Friendship. I think Friendship's probably a good idea. Okay, we got Friendship 2, we've got Rocksteady Mantle, Temporal Mantle. Let's go ahead and put Medicine in both of these mantles. Wait, our Greatsword's augmented, right? Be no point for that if our Greatsword wasn't augmented. It is. Health regen 3. Okay, perfect. Now let's go ahead and post and get started. So for those of you who are in the lobby, the goal is to break all of the parts on Safi'jiiva in our 2 runs. So if you know that the part has been broken in the previous run, focus on a new part of his body. Especially, I want to see everyone focus on his chest together. I think it would be important to try and break his chest on the first run. I'll go ahead and grab Feline Safeguard. Ruiner says, I would use the Safi'jiiva Venom Splitter Greatsword if you're going to fight Safi'jiiva. Well, I have one, but it's not upgraded at all. Blast is the best greatsword for Safi'jiiva, just use poison bombs. We have Titania, Steve, and Tyler. Oh good, our items loadout was empty, huh? So let's see, we'll grab this. There we go. And I'm going to turn my television up a little bit. I want to hear this fight. Oh, good. Okay, I was like, is there no noise? Might be a little loud. Whew, and let's check my laptop volume. Laptop volume is good. I'm going to go ahead and open up Steam Labs. Alright, Steam Labs is open. Whoa. Oh, right. Okay, sweet. We're ready to go. You use Blast against Safi'jiiva. If you want poison, you just bring Poison Smoke Bombs, says Fan's Perspective. Poison Bombs are OP against Safi'jiiva. Poison doesn't stack when a monster is poisoned. Blast stacks. Lord Kilrath says, easy clap coming up for 205 and Kiba. World Edit says, you need to do a buff body stream one day where you just flex the monster to death. Is no one concerned about Gameconomist making a hammer build? I know how to make hammer builds. I used to play hammer quite a lot. It's only recently in Iceborne that I haven't played it quite as much. TGE, have you figured out... Whee! Come on, Safi'jiiva. Boink! I think I just pushed him the wrong direction. Oh, am I gonna land this? Oh, sweet. Oh, he moved out of the way at the last second. Oh my god, he did it twice. not really an appropriate time to mount. You're mounting him in stage 1. Who did that? Was that Tyler? Tyler, you really shouldn't mount him in stage 1. There's just no reason to. You wasted the mount. You should have saved it for stage 3. When he's actually difficult. Stage 1 is very easy. It's kind of like remember Kulvtaroth? Everyone would get mad at you if you used the ailments on Kulvtaroth in stage 1 of the fight. So it's just like that, actually. No reason to be using it in stage 1. You did it! Let's grab this arm. Ah, God damn it. Wow. Gosh, man. Those attacks are so ridiculous. Used the consummate blade, greatsword with crit draw. Nah, that's okay. Everyone, time to get mad at GC for pushing the monster in the wrong direction. I know, right? I wasn't pushing him toward the boulders. Let's jump down here.
All right, solid work. Keep it up, everyone.
Best mounts my team had were in stage 2, and then ailments in stage 3. Well, did you know you can actually have both the mounts and the ailments in stage 3? Because in stage 2, he's really still not as difficult yet. Stage 2, he's a little more difficult, but he's not quite as difficult yet. Stage 3 is the most difficult stage. For example, when his chest goes super critical, being able to get a mount on him at that point would be really useful, actually. Yeah. Oh no. Damn it. I wasn't sure what that was about to do. Oh, you can't tackle a body slam like that. It's just like Behemoth. Please let me hit this. Oh, well, we hit the tail, I think. Wasn't all wasted. And I'm Trevor. Come on, man. Alright, well, the tail's softened. Oh my god, he moves just a little bit and then everything's screwed up. Back broken. Alright, so we don't need to break the back anymore. Oh wait, or do we? Trying to think, is that just for theirs? Maybe that's just for theirs. I just realized it wasn't our team that broke his back, it was the other team that broke his back. God damn, the tail's so like random. Oh, he's gonna kick. I have a question. As a Greatsword main, who dabbles with Charge Blade on the side? Is Artillery 5 worth it for raw Charge Blade? Well, it is if you're using impact files. I mean, it depends. Depends. Like, are you going to be building Master's Touch on your Charge Blade? Then you don't have room for Artillery 5. And we got blue sharpness now. Run! Get our weapon sharpened real fast. How's it going, Welp? He says, sorry I am late. No problem. Safi'jiiva says 2-0, cut the tail with the helm splitter during Safi's ultimate attack. Nice. Are you saying he did that, or are you telling him to do that? You did it! Did it, did it, did it, did it, did it.
Safi'jiiva is heading for the lowest reaches.
Can't remember. How do we look up,
The final
I'm
showdown.
trying to remember how we look up objectives. Wasn't there a way to look up objectives in the middle of the fight for Kulf to Roth? I think there was a way to do that with Kulf.
Afraid of breaking off its parts.
Artillery 5 is bad for Charge Blade. Well, it depends. Like, if you're using a Charge Blade where you aren't interested in your melee damage, then you would use Artillery 5, and this was something you would do back in the base game. And these were, like, cheap builds that gave you a lot of defense, right? But in Monster Hunter World Iceborne, you really kind of don't want to miss out on your melee damage, because Sate's been nerfed a little bit, so your melee damage is even more important than last time. Oh man, he's gonna hit me with that. God damn it, dude. He's got so many moves that interrupt. Alright, so when his chest goes super critical, I want to see everyone going after his chest. Boop. Well, that's his hind leg. Okay, so his back is broken. Alright, we need to go for his chest at this point. Let's try and break that chest. I'm sure Fan has more details in the document. What? He's like, oof. Oh, he's awake. Oh, of course it would go right between the thin area between his waist and his leg. Can't talk and play. He's after me. Wow, that missed? That's so sad. So what have we broken on this guy? Have we not broken anything? We broke his back earlier. Is no one using Part Breaker? Titania, Steve, and Tyler. Are you guys using Part Breaker on your setups? He's got Part Breaker. No Part Breaker. What about Titania? Okay, so we just got one guy with no Part Breaker. Weird. Maybe we're just kind of working down all his body parts, but not quite breaking any of them. Let's move over here. Hey TGC, look at Jeff's index finger. Fan says the way that file damage is calculated only makes artillery give you 10% more damage for the files. And he says that's not worth it at all. Well, it is worth it if you're not going to build any melee damage at all. So if you're only going to build file damage, then you would still take artillery 5. But that's like a really specific build where you deal significantly less damage. And you're probably only... I don't know, I've built that once in Iceborne. In the past, you built it. I'm going to die. In the past, you built it because it would give you an opportunity to put on a lot of defensive skills. That was the point of doing that in the past. The point wasn't to maximize your damage. The point was to maximize your file damage and then to have a bunch of defensive skills on your build. Alright, let's grab this real fast. I finally got another Tenderizer Jewel along with the Crit Boost Jewel. Nice, man. Have this real fast and head right on out. Have we broken any other parts on him? I feel like we haven't broken any other parts on him. I think I just hit him in the nuts. No way! Oh, perfect. Nice. 1,000 damage. We actually caused him to stagger, I'm pretty sure. Alright, now he's gonna fly up. Ding! In the past, you didn't have to take 3 pieces for max artillery, so you're restricting your room? I think he means to say your build. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, because if you're skipping Crit Boost, Weakness Exploit, and Crit Eye, I think that you still end up having room for building defensive skills. A better argument you can make is, well, instead of taking Artillery 5, you might want to take Divine Protection Secret or Tool Specialist Secret. Left hind leg broken. Nice. Right hind leg broken. So the hind legs are broken. We have the forearms, the chest, the head, and the tail and the wings. I think the wings as well. His tail's so random. Oh. And he's slayed? Wait, was he already... I'm confused. Was that our first run against him? Single siege complete. Is anyone running a secondary session alongside the stream? That's a good question. Turn off the other TV here. I had the other TV on for my wife. She went into the bedroom after I started streaming. I should be trying to join, but I'm eating. That's right. Why is Gameconomist hitting Jeff with the Rajang PV... P what? Rajang Greatsword? Because I feel like it... As far as session ID, I get no longer exists or is incorrect, and it's not incorrect. Are Safi'jiiva bows better than all other bows? Yes. I don't actually know. So the reward level is 10. What? Mega Key says the new mechanics and weapons affect the normal game. Question mark. End of the Safi'jiiva run. Sweet. Super sweet. Hey, you. Safi'jiiva Siege. Let's see what we got. Some Dracolite. Yay, Dracolite. And some weapons. Let's see. Water. Blast. That's the great sword we wanted. Paralysis dual blades. Thunder. Safi'jiiva's hell shot. We'll take that. 2 blast great swords. And dragon. So, you were saying that the... Wait, do I have to take this? Turn into awakened materials. What? I think Fan was saying that the sleep greatsword was better, but I don't know, I kind of want the blast greatsword. I'm not such a big fan of the sleep ailment over time. I think I like paralysis better. Oh my god, there was a lot of reward bonuses. Let's run down here. We'll try to unlock the, well, you know what? I don't feel like awakening this greatsword right now anyways. Let's just go in for another fight. Hey, Gameconomist, mature topic. What do you think of unionized workplace? I think that in a utopian workplace, there would be no union because unions are inefficient. In a utopian workplace. Okay, like a workplace where everyone's happy. The workers are happy. The guy who created the business and is running the business as its leader is happy. There would be no union because when you have a union is like when you add like a political body to your workforce. And you get people who work for the union rather than producing a good, they just work for the union. And the union's just there to fight with the owner of the business to try and make him pay his workers more. I feel like this was really important in the past. Kind of like the way feminism was actually very important in the past to give women voting rights and, more of an equal say, equal citizenship alongside men. But then it kind of turned into this thing that wasn't so great in modern times. So kind of like feminism today gets really weird and almost divides men and women rather than accomplishing much anymore. That's my opinion. Feel free to disagree with me, male feminists. Well, I feel that unions are kind of like that as well now. I feel like there are people who operate the unions who make a ton of money, and they're not always such a great thing for the worker. They used to be really good for the worker, but I feel like in the future, as a worker, nowadays you have to wonder, oh my gosh, do I really need a union to take X amount of money out of my paycheck? So, and then the union will be like, you have to join our union and pay us this money or you can't have the job. Unions have the ability to say that in jobs, and I really don't like that. They can't do it anymore for federal jobs, luckily, because the Supreme Court broke that up. And that was really bad because what would happen is you'd have politicians that say, I will protect the union, and then the union would take all the money it takes from the workers and give it to that politician. You can have something called crony capitalism. It was like crony unionism. It was really ridiculous. Well, and another thing with unions now is the workers used to go, yeah, the union's on my side. But apparently unions can be on the side of the person who owns the business now as well. And they could work together basically to squeeze the workers. So like I said, in a perfect world, you wouldn't need a union, and all of the profit from selling the product would just be divided among the workers who made the product and the owner of the business. That would be terrific. But because of this belief that unions are necessarily good, and they were good in the past, they helped. But this belief that they're necessarily good, and kind of like nobody really challenges unions that often. People in the union often think that, oh man, this union's awesome, because you're kind of when I was working for UPS, you're kind of brainwashed to believe that. They're all like, the union protects us. The union does this. The union does that. So I've always done labor jobs when I was younger. The best employer I ever had was distinctly anti-union. It was Coca-Cola. They treated you like a human being. They looked at you like they wanted to invest in making you a better person, Coca-Cola did. And they paid very well. They paid better, way better than UPS, Coca-Cola did. And it was a job where there was a lot of growth and a lot of opportunity. When I worked for UPS, it was a dark, horrifying job where you hear about everyone who lost their leg and lost their feet and the managers were insane. And the workers felt like, I don't know, like they were slaves basically. That was the only union job I ever worked, was UPS. It was a union job. Every paycheck, the union took a significant amount of money out of my paycheck. And I was like, wow, not only did I get paid better at Coca-Cola to do less work, they didn't take money out of my paycheck because there was no union. So having compared those two jobs, and I had other jobs that were non-union as well, in the end, I actually felt like the unions were really bad. And most importantly, it was about worker attitude. When you have a union, you feel like there's a conflict between you and the manager, right? That's what the union signifies. So here's another great example. Imagine getting married and you need a prenup. And you're like, yeah, a prenup makes sense. You don't want to get ripped off by the lady. Yeah, prenup's just there to protect you and your assets, so and so. But the reality is, once you're in that relationship with the prenup, there's kind of like this dark cloud hanging over it, like, oh yeah, this is definitely, we're expecting divorce. We're expecting it. We're expecting divorce, and that's why we need this legal contract. So that's kind of what working in a union was like for me. Now, that might not be true for other professions, because, UPS is just pretty much hard labor. You might be in something like plumbing or construction, and maybe the unions are really useful over there, so I don't want to speak ignorantly about it. But for my experience, it was just a really, really bad thing. It made the workers despise the management because they believed that they had to have a union to get fair wages. And that was, I think that people should question whether unions are so necessary, especially in 2019, because one of the things that's different in 2019 compared to the past is if you don't like what you're being paid, you can go on glassdoor.com, see what everyone else is paying, and then just go get a better job. In the past, when we created unions, we didn't have that technology. Nobody knew what anyone was earning. So if you were being underpaid, you didn't know if you were being underpaid. Now you know what everyone's being paid. So it's very easy to go, all right, I'm going to go work for your competitor because I'm one of your better workers, right? And that's one of the things that you have to believe in by default. If you're not a good worker, you don't deserve better pay. So that's first of all. But if you are one of the better workers, you do deserve better pay. Oh, he's slamming me to the ground. Yeah, if you're one of the better workers, you do deserve better pay. And now you can go look up who pays well on Glassdoor. And you go to the other guy and you be like, I'm their best worker, hire me on. And I promise you, if it's true what you say, if you are the best worker for that employer, your employer's competitor definitely wants you. Come here, man. Oh! Oh, wouldn't it be nice if I hit him in the jaw there? Oh! Oh, it's so sad. Here, let's get on the side of him. So yeah, that's my thought about unions. Maybe they're a necessary evil because again, they're inefficient. Basically, you're creating a job for somebody who just sits around and tries to argue with the employer for more money. You're paying somebody to do that for you. You can do it yourself and make more money in your paycheck, right? So when you do your own bargaining for your income, you get paid more. You get paid more. When a union has to do that on your behalf, it's almost like an admittance that you're not clever enough to barter for your good pay. That's how I feel. People are in different industries. I've only been in one union before. I really disliked it, though. I disliked everything about it. Every job I've ever held, I've always probably been in the top 10% of performers for that job. It's very simple. You just work like mad. You just shut up and you work like mad. You always show up to the job every single day, always on time. You're never late. You're never sick. You're never worrying about the holiday. You're never worrying about spending time with family. You just have a cold, tough heart, and you say, I'll show up to work every single day and do this perfectly for you. And if I make a mistake, it's my fault. I'll own it, and I'll do an extremely good job from here on out and learn from the mistake. You do that for your employer. Your employer will think of you like an incredibly important asset for his business. It's because that's exactly how it is. Employers can never find good enough workers because the workers are human. And if you can go in there and it's kind of like if you're good at working out, if you're good at sticking to any accomplishment in life. People who are good at sticking to something that needs to be done that's difficult, they're in short supply. It's hard to find quality people. It's really hard to find quality people. We all have weaknesses. We all have shortcomings, and for somebody who can overcome those shortcomings at work is incredible. Your employer can never hire enough of you, and there's always lots of money to be made in that case because a productive employee generates a ton of profit. And so when you go up to your employer and be like, here's the goals you set for me, I smashed them, now give me a raise. And they'll be like, all right, I'm going to give you a raise. Or you're going to be like, here's the raise I would like, here's what your competitor pays, and I'm going to submit my application to your competitor, or you're going to raise my pay. You got to be aggressive about it. They talk about how girls don't get paid as much as guys. I don't know if girls really do that. I don't think a lot of people do that, though. I don't even think guys do it. Maybe some guys in like a lawyer firm or something like that. But when I went into retail, people at retail didn't act that way. They didn't care about that kind of stuff. The moment Target said that I got a 50-cent raise after I worked way faster than anyone else on my team, I just immediately left. I went straight to Sam's Club, and voila, I got a $2 raise. I got like a $2 raise for just moving on to the next company. So, I was aggressive about it. I was never paid enough. When I went from Sam's Club to Coca-Cola, I got another $2 raise. And then when I was in Coca-Cola, I'm like, I can do better than this. I'm going to go to school and get a degree, right? So I was aggressive the whole time. I was never not aggressive. And then after I graduated school, I was looking at YouTube going, maybe I could make this happen. Maybe I could be a YouTuber and play games for a living. I just never, ever, ever stopped. I got my second channel on YouTube now. We got the card channel started up. It's on its way to 2,000 subscribers. We've broken 100 subscribers on my main channel. And my wife and I are talking about maybe starting a ring company, a company where we sell, fashion rings, right, like jewelry. So we're talking about doing that maybe, talking about ring designs. My wife and I, we worked on that Palco Party website together. I never stop, and workers who are like that, you don't need a union to talk on your behalf when you have that attitude. You don't need a union. You're highly productive. You know what pays money in the world. You know how to go out and get that money for yourself. When a union does it for you, you have to pay them for that. They expect you to give them your money. They're like an agent in Hollywood, and the agent's like, yeah, go ahead and give us a bunch of your earnings. It's like, I don't need you. I'll be my own agent. So that's my perspective on unions. Nice, it didn't hit me. I was so close to landing that on his arm. If I had children, I wouldn't tell them to go cling to a union for, like, I guess money. I'd be like, don't worry about the union. You go out and make as much money as you can, and if you're not making the money you like, go get a better job. That's what I tell them. I think people hate that idea. But if you ever go on to the websites, I haven't gone to them in a while. There's all the websites for looking up jobs, right? People are always like, oh, there's no jobs. What are the truck drivers going to do? There's tons of jobs, man. Where I live, anyways. Perhaps I'm wrong. Maybe there's other places where there's no jobs. But where I live, there's tons of jobs. There's tons of jobs and not enough people. There's not enough people to fill these highly skilled jobs and high-paying jobs. And, there's plenty of retail jobs too, but it's like there's things to aspire to. There's things for you to work on, work towards. Go get your certification in network security. There's extremely good paying jobs in that. You could be, there's just tons of jobs out there, in my opinion. It's often people who are not wanting to work like mad who have trouble looking for or finding the jobs. And I don't know how to. It's a weird thing. I don't know how to make somebody want to work. You know what I mean? And again, that's what I was talking about. There's like a secret sauce to some people, where it's like they're your top 10% workers. You don't even have to ask them to show up to work. You don't have to give them a schedule. They want to be at work. They want to work all day. They want to make tons of money. They want to live, lives of accomplishment. It's not even about the money. It's just the accomplishment itself. Like, who cares about the money? It's just about being the best. Being the best. Being proud of yourself, having things to look back on and be like, yep, I did that when I was young. I did incredible things when I was young, and now I'm old, and I can relax, and I have a retirement fund, I can go on a cruise, I can take care of myself, I can pay for my medical bills with dignity rather than begging people for money. All that stuff is all, is part of the same package. Unions, I just see them as people who take my money. I don't need a union. It's a guy he's a professional, money beggar. And it's like, I don't need a professional money beggar. If I wanted more money, I would just go online, see what the competitor pays, and go straight to the competitor and tell them I'm the best. Hire me. And if they don't believe me, I'll prove it to them, or I'll move into another industry. I'm not scared to move into another industry, you know. I'm not scared of change. I'm not scared because and that's what happens when you work really hard. All your fears kind of melt away. When maybe if, like, let's say working out, for example. Let's say you were tested on your ability to bulk up. Well, the guys who just wake up and go to the gym every day, they're never scared of bulking up because they're good at it. They just bulk up right away. Can I get a ring with 7 points of expert, please? I'll make an expert ring. Yeah, actually, my wife and I are talking about ring designs right now. We're talking about how we'd like them to look. I have some ideas. She has some ideas. One thing I don't want the rings to be already designed, already existing on the internet. I want them to be something that we designed ourselves. Dick Jones says it's hard finding a job you can balance with school, though. That's true. That is tough. You know, what I did when I was in college was I sold product on eBay, which was something I learned from my dad when I was 13 years old. My dad, I've said this many times, my dad worked about 11 to 12 hours a day. Well, yeah, I think that's about right. He worked about 12 hours a day. He had a full-time job where he would teach engineers how to fix equipment. I think they were like instrumentalists or something like that. And he knew like electrical circuitry. I can't, you know, I was a kid. I guess he never fully explained it all to me. But you know, he had his degree and he taught these guys. He was like a teacher, but he didn't work for a school. He worked for a private company, and he taught these engineers how to do this tricky stuff. So he did that for 40 hours a day, and then he came home and he just didn't stop working. He just went to work. He started a home business where he sold wood crafts, right? So it'd be like chunks of wood that were specifically cut to sizes for wood turning or for knife handle crafting, or you know, people do all kinds of wood crafting for art. Usually, you know, it's retired old men or people, you know, young people who just really enjoy working with their hands. But that was his home business, and it would make like $40,000 a year. So he would work all day for about 40 hours a day, full time, a professional job. He'd leave in his suit, and then he'd come home. He'd take the suit off and, you know, put on his work clothing for outside, and he'd just work another 40 hours. I watched him do that, and you know, it was very impressive always to see somebody capable of doing that. It makes you realize you can do it. You can work for 80 hours a day. You don't need CNN to cry for you and be like, oh, can you believe this person has to work 2 jobs? My dad never needed anyone to cry for him. You know, there was no pity party. He was happy to have so many children and to accomplish so much. Typically, my dad was in a good mood. He was never in a bad mood. You know, he'd have his friends and he'd be happy around his friends, and he was always excited to see how much progress was being made in the business, and it always kept him motivated to keep seeing how much stuff we could sell on eBay and ship it out. So he was always pushing himself to like the next level. There was no pity party. There was no, oh, I was forced to work a million jobs. Oh, and support all, you know. I hear those pity parties where it's like, I have a kid, I'm a single mother. My dad was trying to support like 11 children, and he never complained. He worked 2 jobs. It was probably, you know, like 60 to 80 hours a week that he worked. He never complained. So, you know, it was a good example, I guess, to have somebody like that in your life. And I'm older now, and I'm enjoying sort of operating the same way. I just work all day, and it doesn't really bother me too much. I kind of enjoy it, and I like seeing whatever accomplishments I can make is the exact same sort of energy. So having lots of energy is nice. You don't need a union if you're high energy. You know who doesn't need the union? The guy who started the business doesn't need the union. He's like, frick the union. The union just takes your money. The union takes your money. They don't even make product. All they do is complain about how much they get paid. They don't even make product. They're professional complainers. It's almost like, it's like what I said. It's a necessary evil kind of job. It's, well, here's all these people that don't know how to compete for better pay or start their own competing businesses or move into another industry. So we're going to have this organization that says, you better pay us or else we're going to walk out. Right? It's like, well, you don't need to work out when you're the best worker. The best worker is, you know, a true asset, and anyone would be happy to hire that kind of person. Arson says, I have low motivation. Help. Arson, you just need a picture of a sexy woman in front of your bed each day. You wake up, you take a look at that, and be like, I'm going to get me one of those. And then you go out, or a sexy car, whatever. And then you wake up, you go out, and you work for 16 hours a day, and you do it with a smile on your face. Come on now. I don't know what motivates people. It's a interesting thing. You know, if we had like a pill you could eat that would make you work out every day, or a pill you could eat that would make you work hard every day, it'd be pretty amazing, wouldn't it? Antonio says you shouldn't use your experience to define everyone else's. No, you're right. I mean, everyone's different. I get that. I'm just telling you what worked for me because it's really worked for me. It's not like it kind of worked. It really, really, really worked. And in my mind, maybe the defining feature is that I didn't sit around going, God, I hope a union, I hope a union argues on my behalf to get me better pay and I'll pay them to do that. I didn't think that way. What worked for me is saying, I want control of my own life in every way possible, as much control as possible. I don't want to pay some union to do it for me. I want to go out and make as much money as possible. And I wasn't ashamed to want to make a lot of money, and I didn't need sort of that, I don't know what to call it, beta male energy, where I need a group of people. You know, I don't need a bunch of other guys around me so that we can beat up the company owner. I'm on the company owner side. I'm like, damn, man, you created a company. That's amazing. I'm going to create a company. See? So the whole, that sort of energy where, come on, guys, we need to group up on the owner as a bunch of people. No, man, if you're a really valuable hard worker, just go get another job. You don't, it's like relationships too. It's like relationships. When you're a really valuable partner, you don't need somebody to convince your girlfriend to love you. You don't need that. You just say, I'm gonna get a different girlfriend. Simple. I know I'm a catch, and I'm gonna go get a different girlfriend. You don't need someone to be like, he gonna, call your girlfriend up and be like, he's gonna leave you. Yeah, right. So that's kind of what a union does for a company. A union calls up your company, which would be your girlfriend, and be like, he's going to leave you if you don't give him what he wants. That's kind of what a union does, and you pay them to do it. Mamma mia. We have cocaine. Funny enough, I drink caffeine all the time. I hate smoking. I hate drinking because alcohol slows you down, right? And my favorite drug of all time is definitely caffeine. And if cocaine was illegal, I'd probably do cocaine. I don't know even what it does. I've never had cocaine before, but I would probably, if it does something similar to caffeine, I'd probably have caffeine and cocaine every single day. I love productivity. It makes me feel awesome. And, I can be slow when I'm a fat old guy, right? When I'm like 50 years old, I can slow down. I'm young now. I want to accomplish things. I don't want to be known as the guy who lived in this small paying job where I had to have a union barter on my. I don't want to remember myself for that. I want to remember myself for going out into the world and being more ferocious than that. You know what I mean? More ferocious than, yeah, I'm in the union. Unions are awesome. Unions they're gonna barter on my behalf because I can't do it myself. I don't want to remember myself that way. And people always get very sensitive about unions, I feel like. To level faster, fight elder dragons and even hunts that they say have bonus rank. What? Just like you, I too laugh at those who have failed where I've succeeded. Assault Engineer says, I wish I was able to hold a motivational speech and play Monster Hunter at the same time, but that's a bit too much mental multitasking for my feeble mind. Is he going to be tired? Well, I guess it's not a motivational speech. It's just, I don't know what makes people wake up in the morning and go, I want a lot out of life. I don't know what makes somebody do that, but I've always been that way. Maybe it's Maybelline, or maybe you're born with it, right? It's hard to say. I don't know. Actually, if I had to guess, I had a lot of hardships in life, and I think that actually drove me as well, though. I think that was actually a big part of it. Forgotten Gaming says, I own an art studio and car shop. I have already achieved my dreams, but honestly, I feel more lonely, and since I've reached here, everyone has put distance from me, so I've been lonely soul. Yeah, I feel a little bit that way, but that could be for other reasons as well in my case. I had 11 siblings. I don't really talk to any of them. I don't talk to my parents, so I do just put a lot of energy into my work. I'm Scrooge McDuck. Let's jump over here. Isn't that what they always do? They're always like, "Oh, you're successful. You must be Ebenezer Scrooge." Like, you can't be wealthy and happy. It's so ridiculous. I think that making wealthy people seem really unhappy is one of the ways we cope with the social inequality. We go, well, he must be a Scrooge type. It's like, no, maybe he's living an awesome life. You don't even know. You have no clue. Ebenezer Scrooge, he was a horrible person. And undoubtedly there are Scrooges out there in the world, but I'm just saying that I think that we like to think of people who are successful and wealthy as Scrooge types. And you have no clue, man. Antonio says, I think it depends what you want out of life or what you've been through. Yeah, I mean, I'll say another thing that's been really defining for me throughout life is I've always had a very sincere fear and awareness of death. I think about it all the time. I think about old age all the time. I think about dying all the time. And it just keeps me going like the Duracell bunny. It gives me a ton of energy thinking, you know what? You get to be hot and sexy for about 20 years. And then you're an old fart. Nobody wants to touch your dick anymore unless you got $1 million to pay them for that. So it's like, I better be wealthy when I'm old if I want to have sex. But also, I better have great sex for the next 20 years. And you don't get to have great sex if you're just kind of this guy who doesn't really work a good job. Women don't... Oh, he's out of here. Women don't really want to have sex with men who aren't successful. It's just kind of how it is. Just like men don't want to have sex with women who don't look beautiful. It sounds mean. It is mean, in fact. It's dehumanizing. It's objectifying. It's also the reality. So just like, men kind of make fun of women and tell them to lose weight. Well, if you're a guy and you're not working towards success, go work towards success. Go do it. Don't pity party for yourself. Don't be like, this is just how I am. Don't do that. Don't fall into those. That's a trap. It's a trap. You got to avoid that. You should want better things for yourself, and you should work towards success. And stay in shape as well. Don't, there's no excuse for that either, right? But a big driver for me is I'm hyper aware of how short life is. I'm very aware of it. And it's really tragic, actually. You're really sexy at about 18 years old, and then you hit 40 and you're not sexy anymore, right? You're 40. People know you're 40, and then they're like, man, you're an old man, right? Or maybe you stayed really healthy and you look good for 40. That would be great. And maybe you're very successful at 40. But between 18 and 40, that's when you get all your great sex in. That's when you do all of your huge accomplishments. That is a very short 22 years. That is a very, very short 22 years. And so I'm not worried about working too hard. I'm worried about getting old. That's my biggest fear. I'm not worried about, you don't have enough friends or something like that. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about hitting 40 years old and not having a business, not being proud of my accomplishments as a man, not having a beautiful wife. Those are my fears. Those are all my priorities. And so I understand my priorities. I understand how short life is. And then I just go all the way. I don't like... I'll work on that. I'll start on that tomorrow. I don't do that. I just go, I got to do it right now. And if I do it right now, when I'm 40, I'm going to be happy with myself. My future version of myself, because eventually you're going to hit 40, future me is going to look back on young me and smile. And that's a huge priority for me. It's a huge priority. I think about it all the time. My old self is not going to regret my young self. And I don't think that's true for everyone. I feel like we like to focus in on people who are successful in life. I don't do that. I don't focus on successful people. I kind of focus in on people who are losers, to be honest with you. I think about them all the time. I look at them and I see how unhappy their life is. They have no money. Nobody wants to touch their dick. Nobody wants to be their friend. They don't have a nice house. They don't have a boat. They don't live where they want to live. I focus on those people and I go, that could be you if you don't wake your silly ass up out of bed and get back to work. And it's extremely effective. It's extremely effective. When you look at somebody who's like really successful, there's mostly two things that happen. You get filled with envy, and then you're like, oh, that's so annoying. And then you're like, I'm never going to accomplish that. That's the other thing that happens. It's kind of like Minecraft, actually. For those of you who have played Minecraft, I know this is relatable, right? So it's funny. Maybe it is a little bit of a motivational speech, but it's like from a gamer's perspective. When you played Minecraft, and you're like, I'm going to build the coolest castle, and then you got onto Google and you see the other castles other people built, you go back to Minecraft and you're like, wow, mine's not even going to come close to that. It kind of shuts you down a little bit. It kind of demotivates you. So I don't focus on successful people. I don't try to compare myself to them. I focus on being a better version of myself each year. And I focus on people who are freaking losers. I focus on them and say, that's not going to be me. Here's what they did wrong. Here's how to avoid that and fix that. And then I just write that down. Like, those are your goals. Just don't be that way. And of course, I feel sorry for them. I don't hate them. But I'm not trying to be them. See what I'm saying? Nobody wants to touch their dick. Yeah, it's a big deal. Our society is so taboo when it comes to sexuality. You want to know what gets me out of bed and working every day? Sex. I want to have sex. I want to have sex and I want it to be awesome. And I'm not ashamed of that. Just like I want to be wealthy. I want to be wealthy and I want to own stuff. I'm not ashamed of that. Nobody should be. But, you have like a whole political party that shames you for both of those things. You want to have sex with beautiful women? You're a misogynist. You want to have sex too much? You're not Christian enough. You want to have lots of money? You're one of those evil rich guys like Michael Bloomberg, like Donald Trump. You're evil. We hate you for being wealthy. Fuck society. I don't care what they think about me. I'm going to be wealthy. I'm going to have sex with beautiful people. And I'm going to retire with a boat. And I'm going to work really hard and I'm going to be proud of my accomplishments. And yeah, I just completely ignore society. I don't care what they think anymore. They're stupid. They're not great examples of ways to be. Nobody in society seems happy. Everyone's got depression and anxiety. I don't want to be like that. So they can all be in some big group jerking themselves off, feeling sorry for themselves, pity parties and all the other stuff and supposed experts and whatever. They can do that. I'm going to focus on my accomplishments and getting exactly what I want. I know what I want and I'm going to go right for it and just ignore everyone else. And I think that's really important. When it comes to like social pressure, you don't think social pressure works on you. It does. I feel social pressure all the time. I'm very careful to hear it and to try to be reasonable about it, but ultimately I say, here are my goals. I'm going to ignore the social pressure and just go right for what I want. And one of the things I do is I ask, what does nature want from me? Nature wants me to be healthy. It wants me to have a lot of a lot of sex, and it wants me to have lots of resources. That's what nature wants you to do. It wants you to have children, and it wants you to, just go be a successful animal. So I kind of listen to nature. Nature doesn't put any of that social pressure on you. Nature just kind of tells you, here's what the happy animals, this is what they do. This is what the successful, healthy animals do. So I just kind of focus on that and tune everyone else out because society thinks it's so smart, but then it does all these kind of, like, it's weird. Humans are like weirdly self-destructive. You ever notice that? I mean, quite literally, humans are self-destructive. We want the tattoos, and we want to drink ourselves to death, and we want all these weird things that animals in nature don't really even do as much. It's funny. Animals in nature like eat healthier than humans. So humans want all this self-destructive stuff. In nature, it's almost like the animals just focus purely on competition. And so I kind of try to align myself with that a little bit, as much, not entirely, but at least somewhat I'm aware of it. Most basic human instincts, self-preservation and procreation. Well, yeah, they work. They work. Your body wants you to go have a great sexual relationship. Have you ever had terrific sex and then woke up feeling bad? Oh man, I hate that I had great sex. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work that way. I mean, unless you didn't practice safe sex and now you got somebody pregnant or you've got like an STD, so definitely practice safe sex, obviously, but your body generally just feels good. And the people who go like, oh, you shouldn't have sex, that's bad for you, those are the unhappy people who don't get to have sex. They don't even know, some of them don't even know how unhappy they are because they never have it. It's like judging other people for doing drugs, a drug you've never done yourself. It's like you've never done the drug. You wouldn't even know if it's good. And I know how it all works. Pleasure centers in your brain and all that crap. Facts. Damn TGC, what's the armor you're wearing? Oh, it's a layered armor set. I imagine more of us are a little less motivated to have sex after and during all that Me Too bull. Yeah, the Me Too stuff is a very important subject because obviously in a civilized society you can't have men taking advantage of women. That's really bad. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about consensual sex. We're not talking about, anything other than consensual sex. I don't want anything that isn't consensual. And people who want something that's non-consensual are probably the same people that want to touch kids. They've got problems. They need to go get help. That's not what I'm talking about. It's healthy to want to have good sex. Do drugs, kids. That's right. Does Pokemon card collecting get me more babies? It does if your girlfriend is a nerd. Get you more babies. But yeah, you wake up in the morning, you have lots of energy. It's a really good thing to have. Potato King for sure. What? Gaming, he said he wanted to have sex with lots of beautiful women, that more than one. I didn't say more than one. Potato, what? Frosty, what? What are you guys talking about? Wholesome stream, killer. All I want is a monotonous life where I go to work to my union job and my wife eventually cheats on me with the Chad. And then she takes the kids and half my stuff. Jeff Bezos, he was pretty Chad. Look at him, he still lost all his money in the divorce. God, man, this is really tough. My friend says I can have his skin that has a nice tattoo when he passes. I'll frame it. You wouldn't try alcohol. You should know what alcohol can do to you. What? Thanks, Safi'jiiva. Here, let me update Snack Fun. I did actually try alcohol when I was like 21. Actually, so my brothers and I were drinking vodka when we were like 14 years old because my dad had a cellar of vodka that he kept in the basement, and all the boys, the five of us slept in the basement, and the girls slept upstairs. And we would play like Melee Smash Brothers at 4 a.m. in the morning, and because, you know, alcohol kind of makes you stupid and you're already kind of laughing your head off because it's 4 a.m. in the morning, you know, sleep drunk, we would actually go crack out a bottle of the vodka and have some sips of vodka and play Super Smash Brothers Melee like 4 a.m. in the morning, right? We were we were homeschooled. So, you know, if you were sleepy in the morning, it didn't matter because the education was garbage. So, yeah, we could be up at 4 a.m. in the morning playing Smash Brothers Melee and it didn't matter. So we'd sneak into the cellar and go through that vodka. Oh man, is that going to hit me? Yeah, it's going to hit me. And then, of course, when I was about 18, I had a roommate. He was older than me, and so he had access to alcohol before I did, and he would host drinking parties with the sexy ladies, right? And they'd come over, and everyone would get drunk, and of course, I drank too. I hate the whole drinking age laws. I think they're very useful for people who get addicted to drinking, but if you don't get addicted to drinking, the laws don't make any sense. And that's the funny thing about laws, is they usually... They're meant to help the people who need the most help. You know, those laws for drinking and everything. I was really surprised when my German professor taught me that German kids used to be able to drink at the age of 15. I was like, damn. But it made sense to me too, because it's like, well, drinking never really had a big impact on me. But yeah, so my brothers and I would be drinking vodka at like 14 a.m. in the morning. I always knew a lot about cooking, so I had like cooking alcohol as well, even when I left home at like 17 years old. And then eventually I would turn 21, and I got super wasted one time. I got like because I wanted to know, right? Because I'd never been really, really wasted. But I got, I was like puking vodka and everything. I got fully wasted. I drank like a half bottle. And that was about it. That was my all my experience with drinking. I tried smoking too. I tried a bit of smoking, and I liked smoking even less than I liked drinking. They just weren't for me. They're drugs that slow you down. That's the problem. I don't like drugs that slow me down. I like drugs that speed me up. Drugs that make me feel crazy, smarter and more thoughtful, and yeah, all the drugs that slow you down. I'm not big fans of those. Come on, Safi'jiiva. Laws can make sense like that, but it has to be based on culture. European countries don't have the same alcohol problems that we do. Based on culture, you know, what does that even mean? You ever wonder that? People say that calling your culture superior is a form of racism. I've heard about that, and it's like, man, everything's racism. Is there such a thing as a superior culture? You gotta have laws for everything, because everyone's fucking addicted to alcohol. Run over here. TGC talking about his preference for Coke on stream. I probably have a preference for Coke. I will probably never do Coke. I don't like I don't like anything that's going to be real harmful for my brain. Excuse me. I don't like things that will be harmful for my brain. It kind of scares me. I think your brain is one of your most, valuable assets. If your brain was ever not sharp, or if it was like wearing out too fast, that would just be really sad for you, because when you get older, your body eventually gets worn out and ugly, right? And your brain wears out as you get older too. But of all the things I'm worried about having bad health around, my brain would probably be a top priority. It allows me to think, it allows me to speak well. It just allows me to experience life, really. So yeah, my brain's a big priority for me. Oh God. Back in the day, when it was acceptable here, you could have a beer with your dad fixing the pickup back in the 20s or 30s. Huh. Back in the 20s or 30s? How old are you, Arctic? Dude. My wife, she loves alcohol, but she's definitely not addicted either. Like, she will sometimes have a drink, but then if she decides she doesn't want to have alcohol, she's like, nah, I don't want any alcohol. She's never got the whole addiction where it's like, okay, I'm gonna have a drink a night, I'm gonna have a drink out with my friends, I need to have a drink later, there's no schedule for it. She just enjoys it every now and then. But I feel like I understand addiction. I think that I love sweets personally. I love like cookies and all that. I love sweets. They're so addictive. They're so delicious. And so I feel like I kind of understand addiction a little bit, because it's just like your brain gives you so much motivation to do something, and then the motivation to do something that's healthy is just not quite as large. So you end up doing the thing that you have the most motivation for. And yeah, I hope someday in the future we have like some self-control pills or something, you know what I mean? Like a pill that just fixes your addictions, but that would kill a whole industry of doctors and counselors and everything, wouldn't it, if we ever figure that out? But hopefully we do. I think the human race will really be improved if we ever figure that out. The only way to not get addicted is to never try it. I mean, I suppose that's a fair thing to say. I think that I wouldn't live life that way. I'd want to know the things that I get addicted to. Arctic is 98 years old. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're fixing your pickup truck with your dad in the 20s and 30s, what are you saying? Like, are you 15 years old in the 20s and 30s? And then if that's true, then 100 years later. I'm addicted to games, says Inferno. I can understand that, Inferno. I play a lot of games. I really enjoy video games because they're like, video games are like this eternal conflict where you're trying to use your brain to solve a problem. It's this eternal sport, almost. That's what a video game is. And I really enjoy games, obviously. However, in the past, I've also been able to say, nope, no more games. I'm going to focus on school. I'm going to get a good job. And so in the past, I had like the Xbox 360, right? And I just packed that shit up in a brown bag, grocery bag. I just put it up in the closet. I said, I'm not touching you until I have a job and until I have college figured out. And it worked. I just packed it all up, put it away, college, and a decent job. And that was a vital part of my youth. I was like 18 years old when I did that. And I'm an adult now. I'm graduated. When you graduate, by the way, with your degree, or maybe you just want like a 2-year degree, maybe you just want an apprenticeship, whatever the case is, when you reach a point where you're no longer going to, school, you got spare time, by the way, so you can really enjoy games in the future. And guess what? Video games only get better. Well, for the most part. You could probably make a counter argument to that, but that's a different topic. But games get better in the future. The graphics, graphical quality goes up. So if you stop playing games now, you're not really missing anything. Games are kind of like the news. There's a ton of news. It's all a bunch of bullshit. You don't need it. You can stop it, and then you can go back anytime you want. So if you're feeling addicted to games, games are sport, and it's okay to enjoy like a challenge or a sport. But don't allow yourself to not make money. Don't allow yourself to ruin your job, and especially miss out on like sexual relationships because you're too busy playing games. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Don't let your health suffer. Don't let your health suffer. Don't let your career suffer. You can have both. You just need to set aside some time to work on those other things, and then play games. And again, if you have to give up some gaming for a little while in order to get everything straightened out, it's okay. When you get back into gaming, the games will be better anyways. It'll be the next version of Monster Hunter will be out. So, yeah, don't. I think game addiction is a real thing. Don't disappoint your future self. I guess I think about my future self a lot. I'm addicted to destroying the Raytheon with my crazy over-the-top hammer builds. What? So let's see what we get here. We have this Safi Drac Blade. Really? Well, we have everything. We didn't get a single new weapon. Damn it. Let's go ahead and change our equipment. Don't let your health suffer. Proceeds to stream at 4 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, but I just woke up, actually. So I woke up and then I streamed. This is technically my morning. My sleep schedule's reversed. I'm up at night. I'm asleep in the day. Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, a movable Dharma with part breaker, huh? Whoa!
You and your wife enjoy sexy time? Who initiates it more? Is she the best you ever had?
She is the best I've ever had, hands down. Who do you and your wife enjoy sexy time? To put it straightforward, if we didn't enjoy sexy time, why would we be together? You should, of course, be dating somebody who's very sexually compatible with you. It just makes sense, right? Who's that? Tigbits I like. Tigbits? What Tigbits? And your question, who initiates more? Me, obviously. Tigbits I like. There you go. There's like a study done. Men initiate more. It's funny. The realization came from a study of I believe it was lesbians. They found out lesbians don't have that much sex because neither of the women like to initiate the sex. However, in a gay relationship between two men, there's a crazy amount of sex that occurs because the two men are constantly initiating. So yeah, it's it's kind of a funny thing, isn't it? Gay men win again. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Oh, I think I had builds way out here. Oh, here they are. God damn, I was like, where are my builds? Also, can we get another destroyer decoration? We got all this mighty shield. Let's remove the shield. We're going to go, well, yeah, let's remove the shield. We'll go for part breaker. If I had to have another job in the real world, right, and it wasn't computer scientist and it wasn't YouTuber, it would definitely have to be sex therapist. You'd call me Gameconomist. I'm going to change my name right now to The Sex Therapist. That's going to be my new name. What an interesting subject. Let's go ahead and jump over here. Right, poison. There's a lot of poison that we can use. Did I not save this loadout? It's right here. I'm staring at it. All right, we're good. Explain why I have more e-sex with my girlfriend than my boyfriend, says Logs. Let's go ahead and do it. Well, let's go ahead and post, actually. We're still going after the hammer, right? I probably should have been holding a hammer when we talked to her. It's because we're having such a great conversation. We are racist here, no Japanese allowed. What are you talking about? Kusukio says, wait, I get to the stream and everyone is talking about gay and lesbian. Yeah, what the hell, guys? Why are you talking about gay and lesbian? Gunner's platter? How does this count as a gunner's platter? It doesn't make any sense. Free my eggnog. What? 100% crit dual blade Safi farming till I get bored. Safi'jiiva, it's not possible to get bored with the Safi'jiiva. I like it. I like it. I'm over it. I'll donate when I'm not poor. There you go. See, that's why I got to talk about, that's why I got to motivate you guys so that you can be huge successes in life. And later, you can send me a $5 donation. It's in my best interest to make you all successful. What should I use for pierce ammo? A bowgun. Bowguns use pierce ammo. Kozu pain. He's going to be a pain in my Kozu. Come on, Steve. Come on, Steve. I got to do some PC streams sometime soon, by the way. Woo, we're departing now. Steve taking like a full minute to ready up. Fans like, this Let's Build stream has not been a Let's Build stream at all. That's true, but there's still an hour left. We got the greatsword. We need to get the hammer. We got the blast greatsword. We're looking for the blast hammer as well. I'm going to say it, says JV. The reason Germany is second in viewers is because they thought you were the game communist. Is that like a Karl Marx kind of thing? The game communist? I don't think so. I wonder why I get a lot of German viewers though. Maybe they just like the game. Don Quixote, he says, do you have any... Is it Don Quixote? Is that what have I been reading that wrong the whole time? Do you have any build recommendations for pierce ammo? For pierce ammo, yes. Use the, what's the name of it? The Viper Toby Kadashi heavy bowgun. Hey man, we go. Great motivation tonight. See you later, Arctic Bear. When you have half of your team leave because a guy dies. That sucks. Let's grab these stones. And let's get on down there. Don't give me nightmares with your hammer builds. My hammer builds are the best. They're perfect. Lord Killerath says, thanks for the runs. I'm Titania, by the way. I did not know that. No problem. I'm glad we got to play together. That's cool. I will probably forget that too, by the way. So don't count on me remembering that. There's far too many names, millions of names to remember. I think that's why I was imagining myself saying. I'm terrible with names. That's a pre-warning. King says, I was awakening my weapons. I'm Steve. Steve, what are you awakening your weapons before we go? Steve, we're live. Yeah, when you're live, you gotta have a build ready. It's just can't hold the stream up. Now, of course, if you got a weapon to awaken, you should definitely go awaken it. But you gotta let somebody else have a turn. Then you gotta let somebody else have a playthrough. If you're not good to go, you know what I mean? Oh god, I'm about to die. Woo! Had a guy cart twice with Safi, then call the team trash and say we suck. Oh, that sucks. Adventures of Monster Hunter. KO, huh? Oh, why you KO? Ashy one, you're KOing him in stage 1? What is going on, guys? You should shoot him like in the other parts of his body with your sticky ammo and save all your KOs for stage 3. Why do people need to be told this? I figure at this point, with the game having been out for so long, it would be more obvious. I don't know. Maybe he was just not really worrying too much about anything. Maybe he was just playing. I'm about to die. Oh, nice. Put on arc. glider mantle. Whee!
There's a ton of energy here. See if you can force it to deplete all of the energy in this area.
Wow. Terrible. It seems I got the Dream Splitter Greatsword. Should I do a mixture of Tio and Safi armor? I'll have Tio on Seapon. What? What would you think is the best longsword in base game if you remember? I'm on PC. Well, if you're just getting started, you can craft the Devil Joe longsword. That's a really good one. If you're fighting Cove Taroth, which you probably shouldn't be, you can get the Terath Fire longsword. That's a good one. And of course, there's also the... Nice. I don't remember the one, the workshop one. It's been so long. Divine Slasher? Yeah, there's Divine Slasher, but I think that it would be just much easier to just go straight to the Devil Joe one. Like I said, if it's your early game. Whoa, did he just jump onto the I didn't know he did that. He's just jumping onto the decayed ground? What? That's gonna hurt. Oh, there it goes. If you mean the Divine Slasher, that's what I'm using. Just use the Defender longsword. Oh, thank you, fan. Yes, the Defender weapons are super good now. Oh man, we need to make a video on that soon, because it's going to be pointless if we don't make it soon. The Defender weapons, duh. We gotta have some PC streams. See, this is me being behind on what's going on in the PC world. Brr! Wow, Gut's already activating for me once. Oh, don't kill me. Gameconomist 2019. If you're now getting started, Devil Joe 1. Yeah, I know. I don't always speak eloquently when I'm live. I don't always speak eloquently, period. Sometimes I just say stuff. I guess I'll never get to work for CNN. Shoot you in the face. Ooh, is he under? Oh, look at that. Look at that. So close. Almost killed Behemoth solo with cluster bombs first try. Never used the heavy bowgun too. Nice, man. Cluster bombs are a lot of fun. They're still in this game, by the way. They're still in Monster Hunter. No, I've not even been using my poison ammo. Anyone fought Master Rank Tempered Lunastra? If so, what do? Die immediately. Fetal position. Immediately. Rest says, been using Defender Longsword ever since release. Helmbreaker on pole where DS only gets 118 and Devil Joe does 120. Damn. God, that move's so cool. The tracking beam is a really nice new move that I haven't seen any other monster have. I think it's really fun that they added it. Will I guard this? Nope, I would just be knocked up in the air. It's after one of our teammates. Let's get him poisoned. It's after one of our teammates. Imagine fighting Lunastra for any reason. She's so unpopular. hate this move. And it still gets me all the way out here, dude. That's way too much range. Move always gonna kill me. Come here, you. The enmity, probably spelled wrong, is based of most damage, right? What? No, not most damage. Oh, with the Safi'jiiva, yes. Whoever's dealing the most is going to grab the aggro, which is kind of interesting. Kind of makes you think that the gun lance and the lance have a hard time grabbing the enmity. Although, it also made it sound like if you're attacking him in the head, you're more likely to get it too. So I don't actually know exactly how it works now that I think about it. Might as well just get rid of that now. Can I flash him? Oh, he's about to shoot. Elemental ammo is so casual. I mean, I don't know what's easier, elemental ammo or sticky ammo. People who think that the bowguns are hard do not know how easy the bowguns are. Just like Kulve Taroth, this is it's such an effective and passive way to fight a monster. Right? Foreleg broken. Oh god. Oh my god. I'm so bad at dodging the rings now, I can never really tell where they begin and where they end. God damn it. Tigrex is the worst fight in the stupid monster design. I kind of agree. He's a little too simple. Like, what's the idea of Tigrex? Have him run back and forth a whole bunch. That sucked. Casually walking behind cover. Well, no point in... Whee! Remember guys, his right leg is broken. No reason to target his right leg at all anymore. Just keep breaking his body parts, remember? That's the whole point of this, everyone. Eamon, Kozu, Ashi, if we're not breaking his body parts. How did he just one-shot me from there? That's ridiculous. I had plenty of life left. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. We'll just refresh our ammo now. Man, I'm starving. Are you guys hungry? I'm hungry. I'm over it. And we'll have a quick meal, meat platter. Maybe we should grab... Did we grab Safeguard already? I feel like we already grabbed Safeguard one time. Gameconomist, stop. First you hate on Fatalis, now Tigris. That's it. I want a refund. Well, I don't dislike either of them. That's the truth. I don't really dislike them. I feel that Tigrix's moveset gets kind of annoying. Because he runs past you. So, like, I would understand if, like, he ran into you and he dealt damage to you. And then it's kind of like, oh, you suck for not having rolled. But he does worse than that. He actually runs into you. And then he runs right past you. So it's like... You don't even get to punish him when you correctly like dodge through or outspace him, and that's probably the most annoying part. Similar to like Kushala Daora, when a monster does nothing but run past you, you never really get to attack them, and I don't find chasing monsters to be very fun. You chase Kushala Daora and you chase Tigrex, and I don't enjoy that so much. All the chasing, unless weapons were really good for chasing. Some weapons are perfectly fine at chasing. For example, like bowguns, they don't care. Bowguns take down Kushala Daora really well. Same with bowguns work really well on Tigrex as well. especially like heavy bowgun is great because it has a built-in shield, and light bowgun is great because you can shoot him down with the elemental ammo types, and well, I suppose even the not just the elemental ammo types, but the sticky ammo probably does really well on him. So the bowguns do fine. It's just all the other weapons that let's say you're using like a greatsword and he's just running into you and then he runs past you. It's just kind of like, really? It gets kind of tiring as well. It gets kind of tiring when the monster runs past you. Let's have our Rocksteady mantle. Just a little bit more. Nope, still hit me. God, man. I'll never get the floor rings down. They're so much harder to kind of like understand than they used to be. Focusing on his left arm because we're already done with the right arm. That's why we're doing that. Kozu Pain, you're going for the wrong arm, man. Gotta go for the left arm. Right arm already broke. Ouch. Oh god, please don't kill me again. Nice, that was a good shot. Got some dust of life for you guys. We'll put on the glider mantle. Oh, here it comes. Oh, nope, okay. I thought we were getting the rings. In fact, we were not. Indeed, we were not. The tail's really a great target for the ammo, the elemental ammo. Come here, you. See, I'm really still not broken after all this time. So let's see what you guys are saying. Thunder Steel says, why you bully Handler? Because she's into it. The Almighty Nebula says, any good dual blade build right now with the Safi dual blades? No, there are literally no good dual blade builds ever. Secretly a myth that there are good dual blade builds. I will pull my trigger, don't make me. And take down the cat. Ooh! Wait, I was able to guard that? I thought that I wasn't able to guard those. Oh, if I'd known this whole time I could have guarded it, I would have just done that. That's way easier than trying to roll it. Oh god. What is even, like, what is he causing to come out of the ground? It doesn't make any sense to me. We have an emergency. Oh, fell out of the ground, the air, huh? Kozu died. No, nobody. That's not good. I used a life powder on him, but I suppose I used it too early. But then at the same time, I was like, ooh, maybe I don't need to use a life powder because I can flash him out of the sky. And I did, but I did it too late. He already shot Kozu, so by the time Kozu fell, I didn't have a chance to use another life powder. That sucks. Does it suck to die in the new Star Wars movie? Says Emat. If you die in the Star Wars movie, you die in real life. He is putting some energy in the ground. That's right. I guess he is. Oh, the new Star Wars movie. I wonder what the rating is on it. God, I hope it freaking... I don't know. I'm so bitter. I don't want to get into all my bitterness for the Star Wars movie. Oh my God, did I just let that happen? Keep on the offensive. Well, I'm keeping. I was talking to Palpatine Greatsword. What? The critic rating is low, but the audience rating is 86% something. You want to know why the audience rating is so high? Because nobody's watching it. Nobody's watching it. The people who already like it are watching it, I'm sure. This happened with the Han Solo movie, right? Remember the Han Solo? Nobody. It really did not make the money that they were expecting it to make, and it ended up receiving really positive reviews by the users. And so what's happening is all the people who are boycotting the movie aren't giving it a 1 out of whatever 10 or 1 out of 5 rating. So normally that's what would happen. You would get a really bad rating from all the people who really dislike the way you're taking the movies. But since those people boycotted the movie, they don't leave a rating. Bold of you to assume that I'm triggered. Mary Sue Wars. SJW Wars. Scrap this load out. No fan is triggered. Fighting a clan monster with the sexy legs will be quite the experience in Iceborne. Social justice warriors. There you go. Social justice wars. The Jedi is actually evil and bad as the Sith. What? Andre says you're forgetting to use your poison ammo. Thank you, Andre. You're correct. You're right. I am forgetting that. What I like best about the Star Wars movie is eventually I can pirate it for free. And then I can ask myself, why did I even spend time on this? Hey man, so I don't know if I just have crap luck or not, but how do I get joyful tickets? I'm doing Master Rank events with the Oolong set and haven't gotten even one after 12 Master Rank event quests. Is it certain event quests? You need to be doing the daily bounties. Get your daily bounties done, okay? So that's my advice on that. I think that the Oolong set gives you a chance for the VIP tickets, right? Emperor Palpatine says, yes, my death was underwhelming and quite stupid. Running along, Christmas song. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. What if we played Christmas music for the rest of the stream? Would you all throw up? Would you all leave? I think you'd all leave. Now we're not going to use this with one part breaker. How about this? We'll use Ruinous Catastrophe. Hello, just wanted to say I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of you, Rayan. Wow, I'm such a big fan. I am a huge fan. I'm Kozu Payne, you frick. You freaking frick. Let's go ahead and post a new quest. I got a VIP ticket from Safi'jiiva. Nice. Low rank with the Oolong set is 100% to get VIP Joyful ticket. Honestly, I like the Sith, not gonna lie. Jude says, does anyone know what ticket you need to upgrade the Behemoth Insect Glaive? I don't think it's available yet. Commander Wabajack says, helping other hunters gotta have at least 1-0 Master Rank Hunter. Right. Fan says, oh god, he's using Insect Glaive. Ready for the big damage to come out, guys. Wow, listen to this guy. So clever. So freaking smart. This is my Stygian Zenogre build, too. Is that a Safi'jiiva Insect Glaive? No, this is the Nergigante. Nergigante. Nergishmande. Nergi Party. Why is the Safa event girl so hot? Because she works out. She takes care of herself. She knows how to keep a good look. I don't know what I'm saying. Pablas, when will they increase the ammo capacity for dragon ammo? It's not even that OP. I know, right? I know. We need dragon ammo times 20. What the hell? Oh, I'm so comfy. Can you share this Insect Glaive build? That would be literally and figuratively impossible. It's impossible. Jadrick says, I've been kidnapping penguins for VIP tickets. I've taken entire families. Be honest, Gameconomist, the Insect Glaive is currently the worst melee weapon in the game. The Insect Glaive is currently the best melee weapon in the game. Wow, that didn't come out right at all. Is that an AC in the background? Yes, I have a very noisy AC. Who's not pushing start? There we go.
Slay the beast. Don't lose sight of it. When that thing's exhausted, it'll start absorbing energy. When the energy pool is dried up, it'll retreat to a lower level.
Retreat to a lower level.
Follow it down. Chip away at it to break off parts or use your surroundings to damage it.
I like that when you fight Safi'jiiva, you don't have to like attack his part twice to tenderize it. I think that's a big improvement. Wow, he still hit me. That's nice. Hey guys, here comes gray single-digit numbers. What are you talking about? Oh right, he's gonna go into the second area really fast. I should have set that affinity booster down.
All right, solid work. Keep it up, everyone.
Dooba-doo, who's your absolute favorite monster in this game? My absolute favorite monster? The Handler. Any suggestions on what the frick to eat? What have I eaten recently? I had a breakfast sandwich. That was pretty good. Breakfast sandwiches is like sausage, egg, cheese, and a piece of bread. It's pretty good. God damn it, dude. Whoa, we mounted him like immediately. I guess we're hitting the other arm. We're hitting the wrong arm. It's after one of our teammates. Sorry, gnarly Kuga. I know it's not much of an accomplishment yet, but I hit over 1,000 damage to Shar Ishvala today. Nice. Let's jump down here. Bread is good. I don't like too much bread. I was eating my wife's breakfast sandwich, to be specific. I was like, oh, that's good. Yeah, actually, it's funny you point that out, because I don't eat a lot of bread, and I think I was enjoying it, because I normally don't get to taste it, right? Insect Glaive is just a meme weapon that you want people to sense that you're helping, but not really. Wow. Listen to this guy.
Try and wear it out so it runs out of energy.
I'm helping. Oh, there's another mount. Second mount. That's 2 knockdowns in a row. We hitting the wrong hand again? Or are neither of these softened? No, don't you hate it when you're on a team where nobody feels like softening the monster's body parts? I was even commenting just earlier how it's not even hard with the Safi'jiiva. I'm just gonna wake him up, to be honest. Sooner you wake him up, the sooner you get back to damaging him. You deal like, what, an extra 200 damage on the wake up attack? For everyone to stop attacking for like 30 seconds? Think about how much damage is actually lost. You lose a ton of damage doing sleep attacks. Paralysis is legit. Look at this. So the monster stands there for a while with paralysis. I think paralysis might be the better ailment, personally. Not anymore. I haven't paid attention at all to what we've broken. Green sharpness. That's not acceptable. Can we get a sharpness check? There we go. You did it! Did it, did it, did it, did it, did it, did it. I actually feel like I'm doing a ton of damage here. It's just because I stay right on him the whole time. Oh, perfect timing for my mantle to run out there. I wanted it. Another mount. Man, I should have eaten for Raider Rider or whatever. Feline Rider. There we go. Raider Rider. Parts broken. What did we break? Doesn't say what we broke. Smash. Dude, Insect Glaive's so easy versus this guy. It's just like TheGameconomist. The vast majority of his moves actually miss. I mean, I hardly feel like I'm trying. Yeah, that was easy. I think that was actually I think that was easier than the elemental ammo, to be honest with you. Just spamming aerials. Do you think the dragons mentioned in the creation story of Monster Hunter will make an appearance? Nah. What I said earlier, I meant I haven't got one VIP Joyful ticket. I've been wearing Oolong and doing the Penguin Quest, but no luck. Ah, that sucks, man. Aerial insect glaive equals negative DPS. Probably one of the things you can do, Loki, is focus on something else you need to be working on. So if there's a weapon or armor set or materials you need, wear the maybe I don't even know if you need to wear the oolong set, to be honest with you. I don't think you have to wear it, but focus on whatever other thing you were going to do anyways, and if you're lucky, you'll get the tickets as you go. So I try not to think about it. What do you really need the tickets for? The layered armor set? If you just play every day, you'll get enough tickets, I'm sure of it. Unless you're farming to do the Elder Melder reroll. Nice. All the mounts add to the DPS, though. That's right. Also, fans saying you actually do damage with elemental ammo. You do, actually. When you shoot with the elemental ammo, it travels through the monster's bodies, and it hits for like 20s and 30s. But so is my aerial moves. If you were watching, I would just do aerial move after aerial move, and then I would land a mount. And I don't remember how many mounts we had, but it was something like 3 or 4 or 5, somewhere in that number. And I felt like that was actually really effective. Did you guys notice that too? There was quite a few aerials, quite a few mounts. We should impeach Fatalis from Iceborne. Only boomers want him back. What?
Hey, you.
Those are rewards, right? Let's grab the greatsword because we're still going for the sleep greatsword. According to Fan, the sleep greatsword's the best one. We got the blast one. Obtain rewards. Yay. What do we got? Venom Horn. We don't have that one yet. And actually, what? So a guaranteed greatsword. I guess it's these greatswords at the bottom then, huh? And no, we already have this, so we don't need these. What else do we have? Safi's Venom Horn. We'll grab that. Why not? Venom Spear. We'll grab that. And Shatter Burst. Okay. Wait. Oh, it's too late. I already collected them all. Can't compete with Heavy Bowgun. Let's go ahead and change equipment. Yeah, I actually quite like that insect glaive build where we're just spamming the mount over and over again. I think that's actually really fun. All right, so we're at the end of the video, the end of the live stream. I say we go down and work on that blast greatsword anyways. There's probably cases where a monster is immune to sleep or very resistant to sleep and weak to blast. And so in that case, you would definitely just use the blast greatsword. Upgrade equipment. We're going to choose category greatsword. We did not get the sleep greatsword. We'll keep an eye out for that. Oh, here they are. Here it is. Blast. Safi'jiiva Shatter Splitter. Here we go. Here we go. Da 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 da. Affinity. Store potential. Attack increase. We'll take attack increase. For the awakening, just read the documents. Let's grab attack increase 2. Yay! Oh, nice. Attack increase 5, huh? I wonder if we should do a sharpness. We grab attack increase. Attack increase 3. Store potential. You can press Y to auto upgrade. What? Auto upgrade? I want an auto upgrade. Auto select. Oh my god. That's amazing. That's going into my 10 things you didn't know. Thank you so much. That's amazing. I didn't even notice it. It's like one of those little things you don't really think about or notice until you do. And then when you do, you're like, what? It's a whole new world. Awesome. I love making those videos. They're so fun. It's just full of like obscure information. It's not really important, but it's like when somebody learns of the information, they're like, oh, damn, I didn't know that one. You know what I mean? So those are always fun, the 10 Things You Didn't Know series. I was thinking about doing them for weapons, because there's a lot of things you didn't know about the weapons, right? Safi'jiiva says 2 sharpness, the rest attack. Are you sure about that? Because I feel like, hear me out, I feel like for the greatsword, we know that the damage multiplier for purple sharpness is actually not that big, right? The difference between purple and white's not that large. You would think that is just all attack. If you press Y against it, it'll go down to store instead of pressing down 3 times, but that's just efficiency. For now, I'm just going to focus on attack increase because I don't know if you guys have probably looked it up more than I have, but I'd be surprised that just based on what I've seen the attack upgrades add to your build, I'd be surprised if the purple sharpness was actually that important. Aaron Delight says you don't even need sharpness. Yeah, that's actually my initial impression of it as well. I haven't tested it, but you know, what I do know is when something new comes out, everyone just kind of says, this is the meta. People say that very quickly. And usually it takes a little while longer before we really start figuring out what's most important. But I suspect actually just full attack, right? For a raw weapon. If the purple sharpness modifier was more important, then maybe I would say we should go for the purple sharpness modifier. Wellick says it's a percentage multiplier. Well, yeah, I know that's how sharpness works, but I mean, it's a very small improvement. Gaming Enthusiast says it's only 4% for purple, but with the Greatsword bloat modifier, purple is the best on Greatsword for its high raw attack. Fan says there are 3 versions you can make. All attack is the easiest, but lowest damage. Second is 2 sharpness. Best is 1 sharpness, 6, and 2 handicraft. Okay, I think you said that before. We should go for that. Let's make a sharpness 6. We'll store potential. Yeah, so that would make it kind of like, I'm guessing that's a Master's Touch setup anyways, right? That would be similar to what we have with the Acidic Glaive. Let's go for a sharpness. Alright, we're going to go sharpness increase. We'll replace one of these 4s. You can do one or the other, but 5 attack is just as good as 2 sharpness and 3 attack, says Arson. Oh, man, we're getting some conflicting information. Let's bring up our sharpness and we'll reach purple. Yeah. Unless you're running purple touch, you don't need purple sharpness. God, I guess a part of me doesn't want to run Master's Touch. I'm super tired of Master's Touch, to tell you the truth. Yeah, I'm actually really tired of Master's Touch. Sharpness increase 4. But that's okay. We'll run purple. We'll do it. We'll run purple sharpness. Two V is 20 hits of purple. Alright, we have some purple. Sharpness increase 2. The sharpness 6 and 2 handicraft version is the best, but you get 10 hits of purple like the Acidic Glavenus. Yeah, so we're making basically an acidic glavinus greatsword. That's how I was thinking about it in my head as well. Oh, I should have been paying attention. We need an attack 5 as well. I wasn't watching. The 3 sets, pure raw, 2 sharpness, 1 sharpness, are all within like 5% EFR of each other in a vacuum, which means they all do that same damage practically. That's interesting. That is interesting. It's the meta, bro. Do you got the meta? Store potential. I think the greatsword uniquely is really good for having a sliver of purple sharpness. Alright, we're looking for sharpness increase number 6. Here's attack increase number 6. Store potential. Thanks for that tip, even Jared. Heavy bowgun is mine. What? That's not comfy enough for me. Wow, who is this casual elitist? Here we go. So here's our sharpness increase number 6. All right, and that's where we're going to lay it to rest. The weapon looks freaking awesome on your back. Looks terrific. Looks like a big claw or a big tooth. And then for the build, I guess we would actually just use kind of a Master's Touch setup. It's an actual Master's Touch setup. It is. So Master's Touch is really fun with the Safi'jiiva blast weapons because it already comes with some blast attack built into it. So it's actually really cool to run into that situation, isn't it? So something just like this, actually. Brashogun says, how did he get that greatsword? Did he use foot? What? Thank you for the donation, Brashogun. I don't understand your question. Let's update the snack fund regardless. Snack fund, snack fund. What could I do to make the snack fund fun for you guys? Brashogun. Is it Brashogun or Brashogun? I'm always wondering because I'm so appreciative of the donations you guys have sent to support my channel. I don't want them to be going to waste. You know what I mean? It's a missed opportunity if it's not fun. We did the impeachment vote donation stream, and I thought that was actually really funny. So this is the setup that I have here. I think you can use this to replace my old setup, right? Let's see what the acidic glav setup was. Greatsword. So this one is 1464. It's a much smaller sliver of purple sharpness, you have to admit that. And then it's got elementalist. Oh, 1392, 0% affinity, elementalist. 1392. I don't know if that's augmented even. And this one's 1541. Oh, they're not even close then. This one's just hands down better, right? I don't think elementalist will make up. Yeah, it doesn't. So this one's just hands down better. Buy acidic shredder. You only need 2 handicrafts so you can build an agitator in. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Handicraft goes bye-bye. Oh, I see what you're saying. But you know what? I actually like that. It has a lot of... so people talk about wanting comfort. I actually like it this way. I don't care about a little more agitator. This is fine. Yeah, I like this. I like it. I'm over it. Yeah, I like this. We're going to leave it like this. It's an OCD thing, you know? Don't you guys hate it when you fall into a lower level of sharpness? Well, I have a much lower chance of that happening because of this. So I think that's fine the way it is. And now let's try and tinker with the build to get it ready for part breaker. Oh, you know what? We don't need elementless either way. Oh, thank you. What's going on here? I heard a noise. New member, Brashogun, has become a member. Can we get some shuckles in the chat room for Brashogun? Thanks for joining, Brashogun. By the way, if you guys ever want to contact me on Discord, if you're a member of the channel, the YouTube channel, if you ever want to contact me on Discord with emojis you would like for me to add to the list of emojis you guys can use, go for it, man, because I'm such a busy guy. I don't always have time to think about stuff like that. You know, I don't have time to necessarily sit down and be like, what emojis will people like? So when I do add them, I just kind of grab crazy stuff and get back to work on something else. But if you have something in particular that sounds really good, all you got to do is let me know, and I would be happy to add that for you. We're going to get rid of Guardian Handicraft. That's kind of a weird one, too. Tenderizer, Vitality, Expert, Crit Jewel, Tenderizer, Crit Jewel. Do I have too many, by the way? 3 and 3. So those are good. We want Health Boost to be on the build. And Focus as well, I'd say. What do we have for Health Boost? Focus. There we go. That answered that, didn't it? So we need to finish Crit Eye. See, we did the build. We did it right at the end. That's all. For those of you who are watching the stream, you know, after it's been live, we did it. We just did it at the end. Fade Extender, Guard, Wide Range. I like Wide Range quite a lot, actually. Free Meal, Speed Sharpening, Bombardier, Mushroom Answer, Stone Thrower. Stone Thrower is not a bad skill to have now. The Slinger Capacity. So the reason why this is nice is because you can pick up your, you know, whatever you're going to use, Flint Shot the monster once, and still have enough pots left over to Flint Shot the monster a second time. So we're going to take that one with the Expert Jewel. I think that's a smart move. We have room here to build what we want, and I think Agitator would be nice at this point. Let's go ahead and grab the Agitator skill. Agitator's down here. All right, Challenger. And we're going to go with, if we had another one of these Challenger Jewels, we could just finish it off. But we don't, so we have limitations. Let's go with, I like Recovery Up. I think Recovery Up works really well. Oh, do I only have the one? Oh, that's sad that I only had the one. I think that Recovery Up works really well with this. Oh, that's Recovery Speed. Let's see if we have a medicine. Maybe we have a medicine. Nah, darn it. Throttle Medicine, Potential, Phoenix. I don't really think Phoenix is going to be that useful for us. Earplugs, Windproof, Footing, Crit Draw, Crit Boost. Well, we could give up Crit Boost for something. Alright, we took Medicine, Crit Boost. Now let's give this up. And what could we put in this? It's Unfilter. We've got an extra slot. What could we put in here? Paralysis, Blast, Handicraft, Release, Force Shot, Pierce, Spread, Phoenix, Wind Resist, Footing, Tenderizer, Draw, Crit, Mind's Eye. So here's what we could do. We could do another level of Challenger, or we could go Blast. I think we're going to go another level Challenger. That just makes sense. The affinity and the more attack. That just makes a lot more sense. So here's where we're at on this build. I like it. I like it. Let's get rid of these. We'll put in, for more damage, we'll put the Blast in these. A little more blast build up. There we go. You don't really need protection in Temporal Mantle, but you can. But I'm going to put blast in for fun, just to finish it off, because it's a blast weapon. So that's what we're looking at. 1541, 45% affinity. Agitator's going to bring that over 50. And then Weakness Exploit on a soft spot's going to bring us over 100. And then we have some blast as well. Nice. And we've got Recovery Up. Look at that. Recovery Up. That's actually nice on a Greatsword. I like it. I'm over it. Handicraft Jewel 4 is a mythical item. It's one of those really rare decorations. Well, if I use a save wizard on the PlayStation, maybe I'll be able to experiment with like all these ridiculous builds. I don't know. I haven't been able to do that all the way up to now. So, extra slots. Yes, please. We'll take extra slots. Tempered Glimmer Pelt. No! What's that from? That's from Ray Zhang, right? That's Ray Zhang. Oh, god damn, man. I'm just going to go straight to the health regen augmentation because I'm such a big fan of that. Damn, dude, we got to do some grinding in the Guiding Lands to get these fully upgraded. But we got one level of health regen. I think that's going to be terrific. Sweet. See, we did the build. We did it right at the end. Run over here. Jump down here to Greatsword. So Safi's Shatter Splitter, it's looking pretty strong here with this purple sharpness and it's got Master's Touch, and it's got Agitator, and you're going to get some blast damage as well. It's looking pretty strong. And I think that if we wanted to do Part Breaker, all we would need to do is drop this Challenger decoration, and can we drop anything else? We'll have to drop this Challenger as well. So let's go ahead and, well, actually, we might have to drop one more. Let's grab Part Breaker. Breaker. Part Breaker 1. Part Breaker Vitality. We're going to grab Part Breaker Vitality. And then up here, we will turn this into Part Breaker as well. We'll say Part Breaker Vitality 3. And then we'll drop a level of Vitality because we don't need this anymore. And we'll turn this into Blast. Just for fun. Just for fun. Who doesn't like a little extra Blast in their life? And we'll jump down here. And we'll turn this into Blast as well. So we have lots and lots of Blast all the time. Everyone loves Blast. Yay! I don't have too many Vitalities, do I? I don't think I do. I'm going to scroll down here as well. I'm going to replace this. And I'm going to rename it as well. Please don't break. Y is like, the reason I went with the letter Y is because it's the first letter that pops up on the keyboard. Watch this. See, it pops up right there at Y. But I'm actually going to make this an S for Safi'jiiva. So that's a Safi'jiiva build down there. And now I know that, you know, if I'm fighting Safi'jiiva, I can scroll down and grab it. Okay. So we've got the regular greatsword build for fighting most things, and we have the Safi'jiiva build for fighting most things. The next thing we can do for the greatsword is actually to grab the sleep greatsword, apparently, the Safi'jiiva sleep greatsword. We'll grab that one next, and I'm satisfied. I like what we did there. I feel like we made some great progress on the Xbox tonight. I suppose the next thing we should do is take it for a spin, right? Let's have one more run. Let's take it for a spin, everyone. And then after that, we'll probably open up some cards, some Pokemon cards. Amazing Xbox controller. Is he making fun of the Xbox controller? You better not. I'm a huge fan of the Xbox controller. Dotagama, you're not spamming, are you? Spam is illegal. Yep, put on a timeout. No, message deleted. Yeah, no spamming. Dotagama was hidden. Well, he doesn't need to be hidden. Unhide user. Put user in timeout. There we go. Yeah, be careful, fan. When you hide a user, they can't talk at all. Dotagama was spamming, but, you know, he's a fan. He's not actually... Think of hide user is very specifically for people who clearly hate the channel and they're like trolls and they're just coming here to say the N-word or call everyone Nazis. That's who you hide from the channel. Those people are bad people. But if somebody's just kind of breaking the rules, kind of spamming, you just put them in timeout for a little while. My bad, was supposed to hit timeout. Oh, no problem, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I don't want to accidentally put someone in timeout because it's so easy to lose track of the people who you put into timeout. There's not like some simple list to go look up of the people who are in who are timed out. You actually have to go digging for that information. My finger slipped. That's what she said. Xbox controller feels so nice. It does. It's my favorite controller. You know, my wife downloaded Gears of War 5. Was it today or yesterday? Yesterday she downloaded Gears of War 5. She wanted to play a new game and couldn't make up her mind on what she wanted to play. And she brought out the Nintendo Switch. And she picked up the GameCube controller for the Nintendo Switch. And she's like, this just doesn't feel good. She's like, it feels like a cheap piece of plastic from the 90s. And I'm like, that's because it essentially is. And she didn't like the Joy-Cons either. They're just too small. And then she was like, all right, cracking out the Xbox. And that's how she ended up buying Gears of War. Because she first tried to play on the Switch. She tried to play Pokemon, by the way, guys. So she's that was where she started. She's like, hey, I'll play Pokemon now. I haven't played the new Pokemon. And she turned it on. And immediately the first thing, you know, what she notices, no voice acting in Pokemon. So you get like, it's just pure silence. It's just quiet. The game starts up. You see these characters, terrible animations. Their mouths are moving. There's like letters on the screen. It's just quiet. It's just like, the whole way. It's just like that. It's just quiet. And she's like, what the hell is this? So she turns that off. She didn't want to play it after that. And she's like, you know, she's trying to play something with the GameCube controller. And she's like, I'm out of here. I'm going over to the Xbox. That right there is, you know, that's consumer feedback right there. I hope Nintendo has something special for the next generation of consoles. I really want Nintendo to try and capture some adult audience from now on, but who knows if they will. My suspicion is Nintendo will actually move a lot of their business over to like phones. That's my suspicion. Grimes says, is your wife sexy? My wife is extremely sexy. I am a very lucky person to have married her. Fan whiff the button press. Why do hunters enjoy spamming explosives in the game? Because it's a game. Lord Killer Wrath says 20 minutes to 15 minutes is 5 more minutes wasted when you could have been moving on to the next. What? I'm on my phone, so I misclicked. Oh, I understand. Imagine trying to, like, moderate with a touch screen. Just sounds dangerous. King Kursakai says, the Pro Controller. Well, I've played with the Pro Controller as well, but although admittedly just at Best Buy, I thought it felt nice, but not as nice as the Xbox controller. Connor says the Pro Controller is just like the Xbox controller. Let's correct that. The Pro Controller is like a similar but worse version of the Xbox controller. Well, and part of it is I have the Xbox Elite controller, which just feels fantastic. If you've never used it, you've got to use it. Your wife and I have something to fight about now, says even Jared. Show wife then. I'm not going to show wife. I haven't even face revealed myself. I'm not going to like face reveal my wife. She'd probably be mortified. She'd be like, no. My wife and I are both very private people. Like, it's not like a beauty thing or anything like that. We just actually do enjoy privacy. We enjoy not having our friends and family look us up on the internet. That is the truth. And that's why you can't find pictures of us. We're both into computer science and all that stuff, and one of the things we did while we were in college was we learned how to hide a lot of our information. Just something that companies do not like you to know about. You can hide your information. Of course, my information isn't quite as hidden as it used to be. When I started shipping Pokemon cards, she was so upset just because our address had been revealed from, you know, the Pokemon card channel. I was like, it's not going to be that bad. She really doesn't like that kind of stuff. I don't know why. I think that she takes it to too high of an anxious level, but maybe there's a lot of crazy people in the world. Wife toe reveal. I actually did. I did a wife toe reveal, if you didn't know that. You guys have seen my wife's feet. Wasn't talking about the face reveal. What? Ooh, these numbers are so much meatier than the Ray Jane Greatsword numbers we had. Oh, but we missed. Oh, cool. I thought that was going to bounce for sure. Teach us to hide. I'll do a whole video on it. I was thinking about doing a video series that taught you basic economic principles. Basic principles of economics. Because it's a fun topic, and it's one of the things I really enjoy. Alright. That's coming off. We got the rock steady now. Imagine not using the greatsword. Woo! I feel sorry for all these people not using the greatsword. Oh! How long has it been since I've followed one of your streams? How's it going, Angus Chen? Good to see that you have so many audience. That's right. We've built up a really nice live stream audience over time, I think, and we have some pretty... The content right now is pretty fresh. It'll probably die down a little bit when Safi'jiiva goes away, and when people are done with the holiday events. It'll probably die down a little bit again. That's just kind of how it goes. There's a cycle to it. But we have a nice audience over here. It's funny because sometimes I look up other streamers and just to see, you know, maybe like to see what's working for them, what do they do to make their streams fun, and I'm really surprised at how good of an audience we get on Twitch. We will very often compete with the best Twitch streamer for views, having similar views to that person or better, sometimes worse as well. Sometimes you'll see like a Twitch streamer with like 1,000 viewers, but often it's not an English streamer. It'll be like somebody from Japan or Korea. So it's actually really, it's a lot of fun. And the other thing is YouTube's not really thought of as a primary streaming platform. That's the other impressive piece of information here. So we get a really good audience going, and we're not even on Twitch, we're on YouTube. So what that tells me is we've taught a lot of people to keep an eye out for our stream on YouTube. Might as well be the only weapon. Now doing this is going to make me lose sharpness pretty fast. Yeah. See, I like having that little extra bit of purple sharpness. I think it, you know, going agitator rather than handicraft, I think this is actually more fun. Ooh, look at that. 600 damage on the blast. It's ridiculous. I missed both swings. That's too bad. Because I dodged through his roar so well. People coming for your amazing gameplay. I know. Well, if it helps fan, when I'm actually not live, when I'm playing privately, I actually play way better. And the reason for that is because it's almost like I'm reading a book while playing. And, you know, you can argue whether that's true or not, but I mean, I answer most of the comments in the comment section. How do you think I'm doing that? I'm virtually reading the entire time. And when you read and play at the same time, you just don't play as well. And some of it is just because I suck, but I mean, a fair decent part of it is I'm reading and playing. It's terrible. Shouldn't try to be multitasking. Also, my answers, I try to have decent conversations, and thinking about the conversation and playing is also a part of that challenge. So having any kind of intelligent conversation, it can be tough to do that and try to play well. Some of the gameplay is really bad, though, I admit. I've watched it before. It's like, I'll be talking about a subject and my character would just be running around in a circle. Not really helping. So I'm aware of it. But I find that the conversations keep the game fun somehow, too, you know? Lord Killerwrath says, you fight Luna and Kush for me, I'll deal with Tigrix for you. What? Killed Safi'jiiva with like 30 seconds. Nice. Remember, you clutch claw the rope lift when you played privately. That's right. I was like, what's going on here? So the problem is I'm holding down the left trigger. I can't believe that missed. That missed too. I'm mostly here for your personality. You're just a really down-to-earth person. I'm a man of the world. I think a lot of gamers are probably like that, you know what I mean? More so... Oh, God, did that hit me? It did hit me. Yeah, I think a lot of gamers have more of a sense of, like, food and entertainment, because that's why you become a gamer. You enjoy things, you enjoy your pleasures, your leisures. And people who are into politics probably don't play a lot of games, necessarily. They probably more into politics than the games, although I like politics a lot. And people who are more religious than games probably don't play games a lot either. Oh, we just grabbed him. Should I cut his tail? Let's cut the tail. Wow, that was weird. It let me do the first part of it. I'm just going to let it go because I'm afraid he's going to stand up. Oh, he is. Oh, but we still got the hit in. Nice. Seems like the greatsword's a good option for cutting the tail. Because it has a good vertical reach, which is what you need. Gameconomist is a man of culture. Is it possible to solo Safi'jiiva? That's a great question. That's a question I don't have an answer to yet. The more I understand how soloing Safi'jiiva is, the closer I'll be to creating a role in our Discord server. We have 25,000 people on our Discord, and what I want to do is create a Safi'jiiva role and have a challenge for skilled players to try and complete, where you fight Safi'jiiva in a way that we want you to fight him on the Discord, and then you get a Discord role called, I don't know, maybe like Safi'jiiva or Red Dragon, something like that, right? So that's our goals around Safi'jiiva, and I don't know if you can solo. Has anyone, somebody else might be able to answer this, has any speedrunner been able to solo Safi'jiiva from like a single run? I'm sure it's got to be possible. We've seen somebody solo Kulve Taroth in a single run, right? That's pretty incredible. Pursuit 1 Kulve Taroth, you guys know what I'm talking about. And they did that, by the way, with the Greatsword Master Race. Did they do that with the bow? I don't think so. They did it with the Greatsword. Can't wait for Iceborne 2. Oh, you must be on PC. Oh, look at that 600 damage, man. That 600 from the blast is amazing. 600 blast. Zero energy Safi solo is actually not that hard, but the lowering energy part is frustrating. Yeah, so what fans talking about here is people like to solo Safi'jiiva after their teammates lower all of the energy in a previous run, so that you know, he's much more killable. The question I'm having though is, in a single run, can you defeat Safi'jiiva solo? And I bet you somebody's going to do it, and they're going to get a bunch of views when they do, if it hasn't already been done. It might have already been done, but I haven't heard about it. Usually people like to show off and be like, Gameconomist, did you know so-and-so soloed? So I usually hear about that kind of news, but I haven't heard any news on that. So I'm assuming it hasn't been done yet. The first speedrunner to do it's going to get a lot of notoriety and probably a lot of views too for his YouTube channel or whatever he's working on. So hopefully somebody, if nobody's done a single run, solo run on Safi'jiiva, a successful one, hopefully we get to work on that soon. Run! I'm really enjoying this blast greatsword. It's awesome. Steve, you're still in it. There you go, Steve. Steve casually walking out of the blast zone. I like how the fire doesn't do any damage to you. I think that he would be a lot more difficult if the fire on the ground actually hurt you. We did it! Da -da 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 -da. Can only think of the Dora Explorer music when she says that. Oh, we were so close to hitting his arm, and we did not. And we mount again. We're going to jump down to the tail. I'm kind of focusing on the tail, if you guys haven't noticed. Although it seems I don't even have time to do it. Alright, we're going for full charge this time, baby. Was that a full charge? Did I not hold it enough? Alright, he's roaring, but we're wearing the mantle. Would have been amazing if we hit the whole thing, but we did not. That's okay. Let's go ahead and remove this for now. We're going to sharpen. What do you think about the consistency of Frostcraft Crit Draw Greatsword versus TCS Focus build? I think that True Charge / Focus build will always be king. I think that you can have fun with the Crit Draw build, just like you can have fun, you know, doing like a Clutch Claw only build with a Wyvern Snipe Heavy Bowgun. You know, there's different ways to build. You don't have to build the way everyone tells you to build. You don't have to optimize for damage. You should be doing a fair amount of damage, but you should also be having fun with the game. But ultimately, if you want to talk about pure damage numbers, True Charge / is probably never going to be beaten by Crit Draw. And the reason for that is just because, well, I don't know, maybe if they released a Greatsword that had like 75 negative affinity, if they did something like that, then I could see a Crit Draw build outperforming a True Charge / build, and even then it might be questionable. But right now, the thing is, it's so easy to build for 100% affinity that I just don't see the need for Crit Draw. And that could all change if they just released some really interesting weapons that varied much more heavily than the other weapons. You know, something with 75% negative affinity, we've never seen that before. I have a 37-minute video talking about things I'd like to see changed in Iceborne, and that's one of the topics I talk about, is how, yes, we have a lot of new weapons, a lot of different weapons, but they're all essentially the same. I mean, what is this weapon I'm using right now is basically just what we've seen. Nothing really creative, I want to say. Nothing really creative here. The whole augment system, or the upgrade system for the awakened weapons, if you think about it, they have you farm for Dracolite, and you add attack to your weapon, and you can add other things to your weapon. Like, for example, I could have added a special skill to my weapon, but ultimately you're going to get these guys who sit down and they go, okay, here's how to optimize damage with your Dracolite on your Greatsword, and then that's going to become the standard. So, and that's the problem with these weapons, is that there's actually a lack of creativity to them. You just find out whatever does the most damage, you do that, and then you're done. And so having a weapon that maybe it had like negative 80 affinity, that would be really nice, because we haven't seen that in the base game. We haven't seen that in Iceborne yet. And this could have been maybe maybe this could have been Capcom's opportunity to do something really wild like that, but they just haven't done it, and I don't know why. I don't know why they hold back. They gave us kind of the same experience we've always had. Dracolite is the new experience. That's the new experience to this, is it appears that you get to be involved in how your weapon is, but it's not. You don't really get to be involved that much, do you? Because, like I said, people will figure out what the best Dracolite setup is, and it turns out you just add a bunch of attack and some handicraft to your, see what I'm saying? So this weapon in particular, how did we augment it? 4 attack and 1 sharpness. It's just another greatsword. It might as well not have even had the Dracolite requirement. You might as well have just been another RNG weapon, like with Kulf Taroth. Might as well have just been that, because essentially it is that. It's a weapon that we got to drop from Safi'jiiva after a number of runs. We were able to select it, and then we just upgraded it with the Dracolite the best way possible, and that's it. That's the end of it. So, and you can make a counter argument. There's a little bit of moving around. Oh, I'm gonna get hit by this. There's a little bit of variation to it. Like, let's say I wanted to have Divine Protection and only have to build 2 pieces of the Divine Protection armor set. So this greatsword would be capable of giving up some of its damage in order to have Divine Protection. So I do understand that aspect of it. So it does allow you to have some variations of the weapon, but for the most part, everyone just kind of builds damage. See, and that's still the problem in this game. You mostly still just build damage, because mostly nothing's more important than building lots of damage. So Capcom should realize this and add some interesting variations to their weapons that they've never done before in the base game. And part of that could be doing something like adding a weapon that has strictly green sharpness. It never goes past green. That would be interesting. Or what about, let's get really wild, guys. I mean, come on, they're game developers. They're game developers. Let's get really wild. Let's say the lowest level of sharpness that a weapon can have. This is what they could have done with the Safi'jiiva weapons. They all have the very lowest level of sharpness, but they have like crazy raw, like this insane raw damage that actually brings their damage output up to nearly the meta, right? Or the meta, or past the meta, past the total damage output you get from the best greatswords. So they could have had the strongest greatswords in the game be stuck with permanent worst version of sharpness. And this would be really interesting, because all your builds would be like mind's eye builds and stuff like that, and maybe you wouldn't sharpen the weapon or some weird thing like that, right? So, or they could have done like 150 negative affinity, or maybe like 300 negative affinity. Why can't we just have something really wild for once, something really crazy? There's no reason they can't pull this off, because if your weapon has some extremely negative aspect to it, this can always be counteracted with much higher attack values, with your base attack value on the weapon. Let's get some really crazy stuff in. Give me a greatsword with like 6,000 blast, but half of the normal attack values of a raw damage greatsword. Give me that. I would really like to experiment with that and see what we can do. But they never really do that, do they? This weapon looks very much like all of the other greatswords, except slightly more powerful. See what I'm saying? It looks exactly like all the other greatswords, but slightly more powerful. There was the whole Dracolite thing, and what did I do? I just brought up the damage as high as I could, because that's what you do with every weapon. You just bring up the damage as high as you can. With few exceptions. There's exceptions like Tool Specialist Secret, Divine Protection Secret, but those are mostly the exceptions. And really, Divine Blessing and Tool Specialist, they were in the base game. It's not like you couldn't run. They're just stronger versions. In other words, it's just like what we do with the damage meta, but except it's for the defense meta. And that's it. So I don't know. It's like they're scared to... I don't know if they're scared to try wild things and have really fresh new experiences. I don't know if that's what they're scared of, or if maybe secretly they're just not that creative with some of these things. I like to think that they're playing it safe, actually. They have a certain standard to how the weapons should feel, and they're like, no, we're not going to deviate from that. This game's too successful. Keep it the way it is. We'll give them slightly more damaging weapons, give it a good skin, make it look good, but the weapons are essentially going to function the same, right? So I don't really know what it is, but it's got to be something along those lines, and I would really like to see that change. 6,000 blast, wow. Yeah, why haven't we seen something like that? And can you have a weapon with 6,000 blast that isn't OP? Yeah, of course you can. Just take away all of the raw damage from the weapon and have it be a primarily only blast weapon. And what you would see is this new kind of like... You would see this new type of builds people go after, where it's going to be true crit status, or true crit, whatever it's called. I think it's called true crit status, right? you'll see those kind of builds pop up, and people won't build for regular crit boost at all, because there'll be no point, because your weapon doesn't do any raw damage. So you'll skip crit boost, and instead you'll be focusing on builds that are strictly focusing around trick crew status, as well as the blast attack skill. Blast attack skill will become priority on a weapon that has 6,000 blast. Something like that, right? And then it would be really interesting, because you'd go attack the monster, and you would see blast after blast after blast come out. And the blast, of course, it would all be controlled. That's the thing. It would all be controlled so that it's not doing significantly more damage than, let's say, a raw damage setup. But there's just none of this sort of variation in the game, and I feel like that's a big missed opportunity from Capcom. And like I said, I think they're probably playing it safe. They've got a working formula. It's probably all very mathematical, and they just never really mess with it. I don't know why.
What RNG armor from the next siege event and make custom armor.
Wellix Kiba says, RNG armor from the next siege event and custom armor. Huh. Custom armor, that would be... I feel like you kind of already end up getting custom armor if you just get layered armor sets. So I don't know if custom armor is necessary, as long as they end up releasing lots of armor sets. And then as for RNG armor, I don't know if they'd ever do that. RNG armor. Ree! He's out of here. Damn it, it escaped. What if we kill him right there, that last swing? Ree! He's like, I'm gonna go hang out with my girlfriend. So, yeah, I just, I wish they would take more risks. I wish a lot of video game companies would take more risks. I feel like when a video game company makes a video game that's very successful, they fall into this sort of risk analysis trap where they go, look, people like what we have. Let's not mess it up. Don't change a winning formula, basically. I think that's what they say. But it's like, you don't understand. A significant part of a winning formula is when players experience something new. That's one of the most valuable parts of playing a video game, is experiencing something you haven't experienced yet. So when you have a winning formula, your next winning formula has to involve a great deal of innovation. And I think this scares music producers, movie producers, as well as game producers. They don't like to try new things. They're like, people already like this, don't change it, keep it the way it is. But I mean, look, we've got builds for strictly elemental builds. We got builds for raw damage. Give us the third option. Give us ailment builds, and we just don't have that for some reason. It's really disappointing. Will you play Iceborne on PC when it comes out? Of course I will. Lego Universe. Actually, Capcom has contacted me in advance, and I have a free version of the PC Iceborne game. So big shout out to Capcom for that. That's really kind of them to do that. And I think I'm allowed to stream it before it launches, even. I believe I read that in the email. So we'll be streaming Iceborne on the PC ahead of the launch of Iceborne. And that won't be until a few days before the launch. So, we've got a little bit of time to prepare. They could just release a weapon like what you said as an experiment to see if people like it or not. Of course people will like it. People love it when something is new. They really do. That's what video games are like teasing. They're a way to do something new. You tease people because you're testing how they will respond to your actions. Video games, the reason, I'm jumping in too fast here. What is the psychological purpose of playing? Right? Humans are a part of nature. We know this. All of our behaviors are all pretty much based on your need to survive. So what is the need behind playing? The reason animals play and the reason humans play is to learn something. That's why you play. You're supposed to be learning. So one of the traps with video game development is when you don't offer something new for players to learn, they get bored, right? So, and Monster Hunter is a terrific game because there's so much to learn. But when they don't add something new and complex to the game, there's nothing to learn. And then you're like, I figured this out already. And then you're ready to move on to the next game. So it's always important that they innovate. All game companies, not just Capcom, all game companies need to innovate and add complexities to their game, satisfying complexities, right? And, novel complexities as well. All right. So Roderick says, what about armor set with crazy defense and very low health? Yeah, stuff like that, that would be cool. I think there's kind of already a skill for that called heroics, where when your life gets low, your defense shoots up, but I don't think anyone is willing to use it. Let's go ahead and save. I don't think I needed to save. You guys want to go do our weapon pose ending? So what I'm going to do next, everyone, we have a nice large audience, but we have been streaming for 2 hours and 40 minutes. What we're going to do next is I'm going to be jumping over to my card channel, and we're going to be opening up some Pokemon cards tonight like we do every night. Let's get a weapon pose going. There we go. So we got a sexy weapon pose. My card channel. Well, I've got a second YouTube channel where we open up Pokemon cards. What we actually do is you're allowed to purchase cards live straight from me in my room, and I open them for you live, and then I ship them off to you. So people have been loving that a lot, especially if you've ever wanted to maybe just see what it's like to have Pokemon cards, or you can actually pull Pokemon cards that earn you money. Isn't that crazy? But that's a little bit more like gambling, or we like to pretend it's investing, right? I'll be jumping over there just now, and I will update the chat section. The chat, I will update it with the link to the live stream when we get started. Expect that in about 5 to 10 minutes, okay? I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.